Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a genuinely gripping, atmospheric story, Leo and the Hollow Shadows. It's not just your average spooky tale, it's actually a fascinating look at fear, consequence, and survival. And it all kicks off with one incredibly relatable mistake, breaking curfew. You know that feeling, right? Imagine being caught out when you absolutely know you shouldn't be, only to find the entire world has changed in the blink of an eye. The environment literally turns on our protagonist. And the stakes? Instantly life or death. Let's unpack this thrilling sequence and see exactly what it teaches us about navigating the dark.
Okay, so let's set the scene here. Our story begins with this sudden, chilling shift in reality. The text reads, "The last street light flickered and died." Picture that exact instant. 1 second, you've got the comfort and predictability of artificial streetlights, and the next, bam, absolute pitch-black darkness. We're not talking about a slow, gradual sunset here. It's a total, immediate failure of the modern world. The atmosphere just instantly drops in temperature, and you have these autumn leaves whipping past Leo's face in this sharp, sudden gale. It's really the perfect environmental trigger to signal to us that the rules of this world, they've just been completely thrown out the window.
And look at how this shift completely warps the environment itself. Notice the stark contrast between the familiar, well-lit pavement versus the cold and foreign dark. The very ground beneath Leo's boots, the streets he presumably walks every single day, they instantly transform. The moment that light fails, a place of safety and routine becomes entirely alien and terrifying. The textures, the sounds, the overall vibe of the city all turn instantly hostile. It's actually a super powerful reminder of how much our sense of security relies on, well, just what we can clearly see in front of us.
So as that visual security vanishes, the environment itself literally becomes the enemy. The text describes the darkness as peeling away from the damp brick walls. And this brings us to the absolutely terrifying antagonists of our story, the Hollow Ones. Now these are faceless entities made of pure night. They aren't just hiding in the shadows, they literally are the shadows come to life. They're these shapeless creatures with one very specific and chilling objective. They hunt for lost light. Basically anything that shines, anything that glows, that's their prey.
Which brings us to the physical nature of this threat, and it's pretty wild. These aren't your standard, heavy-footed monsters lumbering down the street. We're talking about shapeless, rapidly shifting forms. They stretch, they twist, they search the empty streets while gliding effortlessly between towering city buildings. It's like they completely defy gravity and physics. And, to make it even creepier, they leave these ominous trails of dark, icy smoke right in their wake. It paints this vivid picture of an agile, formless enemy that you absolutely cannot fight with just physical force or barricades.
Now, this leads to a massive, honestly tragic irony for our protagonist, Leo. Think about his bright red jacket for a second. Its intended purpose in the normal world? High-visibility clothing keeps you safe, right? It alerts cars and pedestrians that you're there. But the actual reality in this new, terrifyingly dark world is that it makes him glow like a solitary lantern. It essentially turns him into a glowing beacon for monsters. The Hollow Ones are explicitly tracking that exact glow. So the very thing designed to protect him is now the exact thing painting a massive target right on his back. No way around it, that's just terrible luck.
As the distance between Leo and these entities closes, the sensory details get incredibly intense and claustrophobic. The creatures are reaching out with these smoky, stretching fingers. And then, there's their voice. Imagine a breathless, chilling whisper. The text describes it as a harsh wind howling through old bones, uttering a single, chilling demand. Give us the light. Just bone-chilling, right? It really emphasizes their desperate, unnatural hunger for the exact thing Leo is radiating. It makes the pursuit feel so deeply personal and completely inescapable.
The physical toll of this chase is obviously immense. Leo is sprinting, his chest is literally burning from the exertion, but the psychological rules governing this world are even more terrifying. Let's look at the mechanics here. Rule 1, looking back only makes them faster. And Rule 2, fear directly feeds their strength. So Leo's own panic is literally empowering the shadows that are chasing him. It's such a fascinating mechanic because emotional control becomes just as critical for survival as physical speed. If he gives in to the terror, even for a second, he's just handing them the exact energy they need to catch him.
Knowing his own fear is working against him, Leo desperately needs a focal point to keep his eyes moving forward. So he fixes his gaze on his only possible salvation, the ancient Gothic clock tower. Picture this massive structure standing tall and imposing at the very end of the avenue, silhouetted right under a razor-thin crescent moon. It's a historical relic of an older time. Those heavy wooden doors at the base represent the absolute last barrier between Leo and the rapidly shifting night that's closing in on his heels. It is quite literally his one and only chance.
And here is where the climax unfolds, literally in fractions of a second. With just seconds remaining, Leo sprints toward those heavy wooden doors, pushing his burning lungs to the absolute breaking point. The icy smoke of the hollow ones is practically touching his skin at this point. Then, with just a microsecond to go, he throws his shoulder against the massive wood, tumbling blindly inside. And at that exact precise moment, the clock strikes midnight. The ancient bell tolls, resonating violently through the total darkness.
Now, it's not just the physical closing of a heavy door that saves him here. It's what happens next. An explosive, booming release of energy. A massive wave of brilliant golden light explodes outward from the clock tower. It's a total, overwhelming counterattack to the pure night of the Hollow Ones. The thunderous sound of the bell, combined with this sudden, blinding eruption of golden light, it completely shatters the oppressive darkness that had swallowed up the city's streets.
The resolution from this blast is swift and it is absolute. Step 1, the shadow creatures react to this blast of pure energy with a horrific shriek of agony. Next, completely unable to withstand the brilliance, the entities simply dissolve into thin air. They are entirely eradicated. And finally, this golden light acts as a catalyst for a permanent shift. The actual morning light arrives, permanently chasing the nightmare away and restoring order and safety to the waking world.
So, what does this all mean for us? This leaves us with an incredibly profound takeaway from today's explainer. The mechanics of Leo's survival beautifully mirror our own psychological battles. You know, when you're being chased by your own anxieties, by those shadowy uncertainties in your own life, how do you react? Do you let your fear feed the shadows, constantly looking back and inadvertently making your problems stronger? Or do you keep your eyes entirely focused on the light, running towards your goals with unwavering determination? It's a truly powerful reminder that sometimes the absolute only way to defeat the dark is to refuse to look at it and relentlessly seek the light.